Hello and welcome to Holy Comforter Episcopal Church's Lego My Bible lesson for the week. This week's lesson is called Jesus Raises Lazarus from the Dead, and it's from Emily Given's Building Faith Brick by Brick. We start our lesson with a prayer. Our first prayer today is our something good that happened this week. Our second prayer for the day is our something not so good that happened this week. And our third prayer is something we need help with. I'll go and start. My first prayer of the day, my something good that happened this week, was that we started a new routine in distance learning. My something not so good that happened this week is that we started a new routine in distance learning. And my something I need help with this week is we started a new routine in distance learning and we need help getting into the groove of things. It might help if you say your prayers out loud, ask your parents to write them down and send them to me, and I'll be praying for you while we're away from each other. So let's get started with our story. Our story this morning is from the book of John, which is in the New Testament, and it's one of the four Gospels, and it's called Jesus Raises Lazarus from the Dead. Three of Jesus' good friends included a man named Lazarus and his sisters, Mary and Martha. Jesus was on a long journey when he found out that Lazarus was dying. It took Jesus a few days to travel to see his sick friend. When Jesus arrived, he saw Lazarus' sister Martha. She had some sad news. "Jesus, Lazarus is dead," cried Martha. "I wish you would have arrived earlier. You might have been able to save him." Jesus tried to comfort her. "Martha, don't be sad. Lazarus will live again." Martha believed what Jesus said. Then Lazarus' other sister Mary came to greet Jesus. She wished Jesus had come sooner too. "Jesus, if you had been here, Lazarus might still be alive," she wept. She also believed that Jesus could have healed her brother. Jesus was sad because Lazarus died too. He cried and cried. Jesus, Martha, and Mary went to the tomb where Lazarus was buried. Jesus told some of the people standing there, "Take the stone away from the tomb." The people were surprised at what Jesus said. Martha reminded Jesus that Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. They had already made his body ready for burial by wrapping it in a special cloth. But Jesus knew what he was doing. He insisted that they open the tomb. When the heavy stone was rolled away, Jesus said, "Lazarus, come out!" The people were frightened and amazed when Lazarus came out of the tomb. Since his hands and feet were all wrapped in the burial cloth, the people had to help Lazarus. When the people saw Lazarus alive again, they laughed and they sang and danced. Many of the people that day believed Jesus would bring new life to all people. So I wonder if you've ever known someone who has died, maybe someone in your family. I wonder if your family does special things to remember those people who have died. I wonder if Jesus has ever disappointed you. I wonder what it would be like to be a disciple of Jesus. I wonder what it would be like to completely trust in God. I wonder what it would be like to live forever with God. I wonder if the story of the tomb reminds you of any other stories. Take a minute and think about those questions, and if you have answers for those, ask your parents to write those down and send them to me. I'd love to hear your responses. Now it's time for us to create. If you're using Legos, take your Legos and think a minute for the story that we just read. Think where you fit in that story and then rebuild that story for me. Put yourself, if you're using a minifigure, in the story. If you're not using Legos, that's okay. Take a minute and create something for me. Either draw a picture or write a script and do a little play, or use some other creative craft medium to build something or create something. Ask your parents to take a picture when you're done and have them send it to me. I would love to see all of the creations that you've done while we're away from each other. I hope that you are enjoying our Lego My Bible lessons, and I hope that you'll also join us for our children's worship on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on our YouTube Live. I'll be doing that this week and all the weeks that we are away from each other. But let's go ahead and end our lesson today with a prayer. Help us trust you, God, when things go wrong or when we are afraid. Show us that you have power and you give life. We thank you for brothers and sisters and all the ways we know the love of family. Amen. I hope you'll join me again next week for Lego My Bible. Bye.